Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all shapes and sizes, it is the one, the only Adamo Taco, and today I'll be talking about some very interesting transfer rumors that have been brought up by the media about Milan. Now, whether or not these rumors are true or not, you can discuss that in the comments below, but as per usual, I would love any of these names as they are all very, very promising players that Milan could do with upgrading. Now, let's get started with Atalanta's 22-year-old goalkeeper, Sportiello. Now, as I said, the 22-year-old has been linked to AC Milan with Abbiati's contract expiring this summer. Milan are looking for a backup to Diego Lopez. That would actually be very, very useful. I would love to have a player like Sportiello. Has been incredible for Atalanta this season, making the Sciglio loss to Sassuolo practically minuscule because he has salvaged them tons and tons of points. Arguably, without him, they could be in the relegation zone because their season hasn't been the best of seasons. No disrespect to them, but they've had much, much better seasons in the past. They just hired a new coach. They're obviously going through a bit of a transition, so for Atalanta's sake, I hope they can get out of it, and hopefully Milan can sign a goalkeeper like Sportiello, at the very least, for a backup of Diego Lopez. And whenever Diego Lopez were to leave, maybe retire, if he retires at Milan, we got Sportiello ready, firing to go. Now, next up, we got Matteo Darmian. We all know who Darmian is. Incredible fullback for Torino. Has been on insane form for a few seasons now. Torino doing well in the Europa League, making all Italians proud. Same goes to the rest of the Italian team. Shout out to those guys because they've been pretty amazing this season in the Europa League. Same with Juventus against Dortmund, and hopefully they go through. But today we're talking about Matteo Darmian, and this player is absolutely insane. But yeah, incredible player. I would love to have him. Can play on both flanks, much like Sciglio. Him and Sciglio are very, very similar players, but Darmian can play more forward, as that's what he's been playing with Torino as of late. But as I said, another player that I would love to have. The issue is that there's a ton of teams being linked to him. Practically every top Serie A team, even Real Madrid have been linked to him. Arguably a £15 million move. I'm not too sure about that, but you never know, right? They're also linked with Sciglio, for those of you who have not known. It's been years and years that they've been linked to him, so I don't know if that's ever going to go through. But would you take Darmian? I definitely would. A lot of people suggesting maybe letting go of Sciglio for Darmian. I always reiterate that I'm not going to judge Sciglio's potential on recent form, as he is still very, very young, but maybe letting go of Sciglio for a high fee and getting Darmian for around 10, 12 million would be a huge steal, considering the profit we would make from Sciglio. Now, next up, we have the legend, Daniele Baselli, linked to Milan numerous times. I'm sure if you go back in some transfer videos, you'll see us talking about him because he's been linked to Milan forever. But as I said, once again, he's linked to Milan with Sampdoria, Fiorentina, and Genoa also interested in the player. But Milan have a big advantage as they have a mutual agreement with the player, and that has been confirmed by Atalanta's sporting director. And he also mentioned that he's going to have a meeting with Galliani over the deal, as there is that mutual agreement, so he's pretty much forced to do so. Maybe they'll be discussing Sportiello in that agreement, also a player that I mentioned earlier from Atalanta. So Milan are looking at Atalanta kind of like a Genoa club. We take some of their good young players. Sometimes Milan takes some of Genoa's not so young players. There's a lot of players that we kind of swap with Genoa. They're kind of like our B team almost, except they've been doing way better than us, so I don't even know if you can consider them a B team. But either way, I would love to have Baselli, as I said, as much as all these players that I would love. Who would you love the most? Leave it down in the comments below. If you could pick one out of those three players that I mentioned, I love seeing your opinions. And who do you think would be the best option, and what position Milan would need most? Do we need a backup for Abbiati currently leaving and Gabriel possibly not coming back next season? You may stay on loan with Carpi for another season if they do get promoted to the Serie A. That's another thing I would like to mention. But who would you rather have out of all those options I mentioned? Personally, I would love Darmian just because he would solve pretty much every single fullback option for any team in the world. He's incredible. But besides that, there's a lot of players I would love on that list. Practically all of them I would take, as I mentioned before. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. You can follow me on Twitter at Adamo Taco if you want to hear some of my opinions and have a little bit of a laugh. You can follow me there. Subscribe to Rossoneri TV for pretty much all content judging over Milan's performance this season. We make tons of content. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you do, leave a like, as I mentioned. So it's been Adamo from Rossoneri TV, and as usual, Forza Milan.